Hi everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and today I'm going to be setting up my new passion planner for 2023, which is so exciting. I've shared that I chose this beautiful burgundy one for my 2023 passion planner. It is a soft cover, which I've never tried, but I really like it. It's so soft. And let's see how much it holds up in 2023, because my 2022 passion planner held up really, really well, but it was that hard cover. But anyways, before I start with setting up my 2023 passion planner, I wanted to do a quick flip through of my 2022 passion planner. And I don't think I'm gonna talk through this. I'm just gonna do a quick flip through. We still have a few weeks in December, so I think I'm just gonna stop at November and just share with you how my spreads turned out. And you're gonna be able to kind of see all those pictures, the creativity, the milestones, the planning, all that good stuff within my flip through and throughout my months. So I'm gonna go ahead, put some music on for you, flip through this, and then we'll get to set up my 2023 passion planner. So that's my flip through. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget, I do have a playlist here on my channel sharing all the plan with me videos in there. So if you've missed any of those, or you're new to my channel and you haven't seen me set up my months ahead of time, definitely check out that playlist. Again, it's on my channel. I also wanted to mention that I have a discount code and a link, which I will add in the description box for you. If you use my code, you get 10% off your next purchase. So that's a good deal. If you're going to grab yourself a passion planner, definitely use that code and save yourself some money. Anyways, let's get to it and jump into the exciting part of this video. Okay, let's start setting up my 2023 passion planner. I'm going to start by working on my calendar page. So that space on the bottom, last year, like I shared in my flip through, I was doodling something every month. So I thought it would be fun to change it up this year and use this frame stamp from Feed Your Craft. It's an old one. It's not available anymore. But if I find something similar, I will link it in the description box for you. But I'm going to use the frames to add my doodling in. I think it would look really cool if every frame kind of represented a month. So I'm just going to play with these frames a little bit. I'm going to stamp some different ones for each month. And then I'm going to come in, color the frames in, and also add a little peg that's holding the frame up. I thought it would be fun to make them look more like frames. I will also grab one of my Studio Calico stamps. It has little tiny months. I just didn't have enough space to stamp large months underneath each frame. So I'm going to use that stamp set from Studio Calico to stamp the months underneath each frame. And like I said earlier, every frame represents a month. Once this is done by the end of the year, like once it's filled out with my doodles, it's going to look adorable. It already looks adorable, honestly, even while they're not like filled out. But I can just imagine how cute they're going to look once I fill them out with little doodles. And as you can see, those little tiny months fit perfectly in between my frames. That's why I love this stamp set. But once I'm done stamping out the months, I'm going to color in my frames and call the spread done. Then we're going to move on to our back pages and set those up as well. So I did some pages in the back of my passion planner last year. I used some Brandy Kincaid printables and it was so much fun. But this year I'm going to change it up a little bit and track a few things back there. I think it would be helpful to have a few trackers in the back of my passion planner. So we're going to set those up once I'm done with this page. Okay, so the Passion Planner has a few blank pages in the back, and I'm going to use those to kind of track a few things. So this first one, I'm just creating a large frame to hold some doodles, pictures, just fun things throughout the year. Just thought it would be fun to kind of document happy moments. So I'm going to create this frame. I'm going to color it in, and then I'm going to stamp favorites at the top. And I just thought it would be fun to have a page full of my favorite moments. I will also go through my washi tape shop washies and try to find something to add next to favorites. It wasn't centered and it was a bit off, so I tend to just use a sticker or something to center it and to balance it out. So once I add those and color in my frame, I'm just going to call this one done. It's really easy, really simple. I thought it would be fun to just like kind of stamp one and then maybe add a doodle or a photo and fill this page out with fun, happy moments. The opposite page, I thought it would be a good idea to just kind of journal in things that I'm grateful for. I literally was just thinking, going to stamp a box. I'm going to stamp out gratitude and be done with it. I need 12 boxes, one for each month. And I have the stamp set from Everyday Explorers. It has like a box, or it's a box with a pen going through it. And I thought it was beautiful. It's a perfect spot for me to journal what I'm grateful for each month. So I'm basically stamping these 12 times. I will stamp gratitude across. I'm actually going to go big with my gratitude, and I'm going to go colorful basically with my gratitude. I just think these pages are perfect to keep up with things like that. Also, if you don't keep a daily journal, these pages are perfect to kind of just write out what you're thankful for or keep track of happy moments. So I'm going to go ahead and use these large alphas from Studio Calico, and I'm going to stamp out gratitude with like browns and yellows and oranges. I just love that combo. I'm going to color in my boxes and call this spread done. Changing up the colors of my title is a bit tedious just because you have to keep switching the colors of your ink pad, but you only set this up once a year, so it's totally worth it. And I just love the end results. Anyways, I'm almost done stamping out gratitude, and then I can color in my boxes and move on to our next page. So my next two pages are scrap lifted from this amazing YouTuber. Her name is Journaling with Nadia, and I love her ideas. Obviously, I cannot draw like her. My pages look nothing like hers, but I'm scrap lifting it and trying my best to kind of get it right. Anyways, I will link her in the description box. If you do not follow her, it's a must. I'm telling you guys, she has amazing ideas for any bullet journaler. Anyways, I'm going to be tracking my Instagram and YouTube. And like I said, I scrap lifted this idea from her. So it's just basically creating little bubbles with a little person on the side to represent your like button from Instagram. And every time you hit your goal, how many followers you have, you can color it in. And I will give you an example with the first one because I already did hit the 15K. So I thought it would be fun to color it in for you and show you what I would do once I do hit that mark. Now, I don't know if I'm going to hit 22,000 on Instagram, but I like to keep track of my Instagram and my YouTube as a content creator. And I love these pages, and they're so fun to put together and a great way to track your social media. So I'm done filling out my little bubbles, and I'm going to share with you how I will basically fill out each bubble once I hit that mark. And I'm just going to use a really light gray, and I will add a drop shadow to my bubble so it can stand out. And that's basically it. I'm not going with bright colors. You guys know I'm not a very bright color kind of person. So just adding the drop shadow helps each bubble stand out once you hit that mark. So for my YouTube, I'm also scrap lifting this from Journaling with Nadia, and I'm creating little cameras or recorders. So I'm starting with 32, and I already hit 32, so I can definitely color that in as well. But I'm just going to recreate what she did. I'm going to add YouTube at the top and basically call it done. I love these pages. They're simple, they're easy to do, especially for someone like me who doesn't draw. And they're a great way to, again, track your social media. Okay, let's move on to our next two pages. Now, this first one is all about savings. I do track my savings. I'm a big saver. I love to save money, not a big spender. And I'm pretty smart with my, like where I spend my money, but I like to have a tracker. I actually have one in my 2022 Passion Planner as well. Want to kind of play with this. I have this stamp. It kind of looks like a pill, honestly, but I just thought it was big enough to have my savings in it and kind of track my savings within each box. And I go big, you guys. Each box will have $500 because that's how I save. And whatever I save, I like to pay off certain things and get rid of any kind of debt. So this year, I'm hoping it's my car. So, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead, stamp out savings. And then I'm going to fill out my boxes with $500 each. And on the bottom, once I'm done saving my $500 each, well, it's not each month, but basically whenever I can total it and I will know how much I saved that year. I just think it's a fun way to track your savings. This next page is another scrap lift from Journaling with Nadia. She had shared trackers that were game board themed, which I loved. And this is hopscotch. I thought it was so cute, and it was tracking a wish list. So saving towards something. So what I'm going to be saving towards this year is Sabine's graduation gift and also getting myself a new laptop. Now, the third one, I'm not sure yet, so I kept it empty. But once I draw out my hopscotch, I'm going to grab some alpha stickers and just add wish list up top. And I love the purple alpha stickers, they're just so pretty. And then I'm going to grab a graduation cap stamp to stamp in my first savings. And the second one, I'm going to stamp a laptop. So this is basically your little wish list. And if you have something you really want throughout the year, this is a fun way to track it. I'm also going to grab some washi tape and add some washi tape to my two pages. Just felt like they were a little bit bland. I'm going to color in my graduation cap and my laptop, and then we can move on to the next page. So the Passion Planner has free downloads. If you did not know about them, I will link it in the description box for you, but their free printables are actually really, really good. And I'm going to be using the bookshelf and tracker. I think it's just a simple way to add fun pages in the back of your Passion Planner. And it's a great way to kind of keep up with your reading. Even though I have a reading journal, I still like to keep up with it in my Passion Planner because I work in this every single day. So anyways, what I decided to do is just go ahead and stick down the two pages, color in the little plants and the little cat and the frame. Once I read a book, I can just add it on the spine of each book and also track it on the opposite page and track my star rating and all that good stuff. I love these pages. And if I run out of space, I can reprint these free printables from the Passion Planner website. But anyways, I'm going to finish this up by coloring in all the things, and then we can start setting up January in my 2023 Passion Planner. Love how my bookshelf looks, and I know it's gonna look even cuter once it's filled out. Anyways, I'm done with my back pages, and let's move on to setting up January. So as always, I'm gonna use my craft washi paper from Stationery Pal to add or to cover that column, which I end up never using. And I'd rather kind of keep track of my weeks. And as you guys know, if you've been following me for a while, you know I use my calendar overview to add little photos and tidbits of my life. It's a great way to keep up with fun photos throughout the month, and also a great way for me to keep up with my project life and just kind of look back and see the pictures that I want to use for my project life layouts. I do end up stamping the weeks, and I'm also going to be using the stamp set from the Paper Person shop to stamp in 2023. Life looks like this, which I think is a cute little add-on. But the bottom portion of my monthly calendar, I usually use it to track the books I read that month. So I really want to keep that up because I did it in 2022. But this year, I'm going to change up my stamp sets, and I'm using this stamp from the Paper Person shop. It just has a female holding a book, and it says, "Give me all the books." So I'm just going to stamp that. I will also stamp my little open book from Carrie Bradford to have a space for me to add how many books I read that month. Once I'm done, we're going to move on to setting up our first month in my passion planner. So I am keeping mostly everything I did in 2022. I'm going to keep the same thing in 2023. I don't really think I change up much just because it worked for me. If it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'm going to start with my little stencil. I use that little box to keep up with my social media. So each box is going to represent YouTube, Instagram, and my reading with Heba Book Club. And I like to keep up with that stuff. So each week, basically, I come in and I fill out my numbers for each platform. Once I draw out every box, I'll come in and draw the icons. I will color them in with a very light and subtle gray and add a drop shadow as well. I'm not going to make you watch me do this over and over again because, like I said, I do it for every single week, but I'm just kind of keeping in a little bit of my process so you can see how I do this and how easy it is. Honestly, I always say this, it looks tedious, but you do it once a month and you set it up, and then the whole month, all you have to do is just come in and fill out your plans and your social media and all that good stuff. Something else that I used to do in 2022 is track my reading every single day. So if you've been following me for a while, you know I have a reading every day challenge. So I like to use that top box for each day to hold my reading. And if I read that day, I will highlight it. If I didn't read that day, I do not highlight it. And I just use the stamp set that says reading to add into those boxes. And again, it's basically on repeat. I add it for every single day for the month, and I set it up once and we're good to go. The Passion Planner also has that top left corner box that says this week's focus. I like to use my stamps for this. It's a great way to add little words, encouraging words, and things that would keep you going through the week. So I'm going to be using a lot of different stamps for this. I started with some Paper Person shop stamps, and I just stamped welcome to the new year. I end up stamping you can do this, just little things like that. I go back and forth between the Paper Person shop stamps and Everyday Explorers, but I love using my stamps to fill out those boxes. I don't have the best handwriting. I don't know how to hand letter things. Like my hand lettering situation is really flat. So I tend to use my stamps, but you can definitely just fill those out yourself. And while I have my stamps out, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp my favorite weekend stamp from Everyday Explorers. It just says Weekend OMG Finally. And I like to use the stamp to kind of represent the weekend. And I just stamp it right in the center. Because I use the bottom portion of my passion planner or of my weeks to keep up with work. The weekend, I try not to work. So that's why I stamp that weekend OMG finally, just so I make sure that I don't work that on the weekend. But anyways, I am going to start working on my currentlies. That bottom portion of my weeks holds my currentlies. So currently reading, watching, and anything I ordered throughout the week, I like to track if I got it, if I didn't, just little things like that. So I use the icons to represent my currentlies. Now, in that box, I believe it says personal to-do list, the top. And obviously, I'm documenting my currentlies. So what I end up doing is using my black Posca pen and try to cover that up. And then I'm gonna write over it with a white Posca pen. I usually use my acrylograph pens from Archer and Olive, but most of them are dried out. I need to order a new set. So I'm going with my Poscas, and they actually work really, really well. So if you have any Poscas, you can definitely use them for this. You could definitely use washi tape as well, or whatever the case is. I just prefer using my Posca pens over washi tape. Once I'm done filling out my currently, I want to stamp out my YouTube icon to represent my videos. So I have the stamp set from Everyday Explorers. It has some really cute icons and they're small enough for my passion planner and for actually any planner. But I like to stamp my YouTube icon to represent when my videos are going up, and I kind of keep track of when I'm posting. So I'm just gonna stamp that on Mondays and Wednesdays because that's when I post my videos. And then throughout the week, I can come in and fill out these little icons with the video that's going up that day. In the month of January, we have two birthdays, my husband and myself. So I just grabbed a stamp set that had me day or it's my day or something like that, stamped it for my birthday. And while I have that stamp set out, I'm just going to stamp little words that would work for any day. So stuff like first things first, schedule this, get this done. It's just a really good stamp set for planners. And if you want to stamp little things out ahead of time, this is the stamp set for you. It's from Everyday Explorers. Again, I will be linking everything in the description box for you. But I do grab that 2023 stamp set from the Paper Person shop because I thought it would be fun to stamp it on my first week of January. And I basically stamped 2023, I stamped New Year, I stamped the rabbit because it is the year of the rabbit. I'm going to color it in and all that good stuff. But I will also grab a birthday cake stamp and stamp it for my husband's birthday. Anything that I know that's going to happen, I go ahead and stamp it ahead of time. And obviously, I can come in throughout the month and fill this out while I know what's happening and what I need to schedule. But I do like to use my stamps ahead of time with certain words that work for any day, any time, and won't kind of interfere within my planning. So I also grabbed the stamp set from Studio Calico to stamp a few balloons for my birthday. You can see I stamped the birthday cake for my husband, wanted to change it up a little bit, and went with the balloons for my birthday. I will also be filling out my mind map for that week. I'm just going to end up stamping 46 because that's how old I'm going to be in a few weeks. And I thought as I have my stamps out, I would go ahead and stamp that as well. So I'll end up doing that in a little bit. I do want to separate my personal schedule from my work schedule. So I like to use that bottom portion of my week or anything that has to do with work. And then that top portion is for the family, so any appointments or anything like that. So I'm going to end up writing work on that gray line that's already in my planner. but I will go through it with a darker gray marker just so it can pop and I can see that separation. While I have my markers out, I'm going to go ahead and color in a few things just to bring in some color to my weeks. And then I want to cover my quotes. So what I tend to do for the quote section on my Passion Planner is to use transparency stickers. So you can still see the quote, but it adds a little color to your spread and interest. So I'm using these little booklets. I believe I got these either from Stationery Pal or Amazon. Whichever one, I will link it. And I'm just going to use these beautiful stickers to cover my quotes and add some color. And like I said earlier, can still read the quotes underneath the transparency stickers, but it just adds the perfect hint of color to each week. And whatever I end up adding to my week, this is not going to clash with whatever colors I end up adding or whatever stickers I end up adding. So I just love these little sticker books because they're just perfect and they fit perfectly in that column. So I noticed that I did not color in my social media icons. I like to use this really light gray, and I didn't notice that until now. So I'm just going to go ahead and color in my social media icons. And then we're going to use some washi tape and use some stickers and stamping to brighten up my weeks. I really want to bring in some color ahead of time. So I'm just going to use some of my washi tape shop sticker washies to add to a few of these weeks. I will also use a Close to My Heart stamp set. This stamp set is so cute. It just has different animals that are just fed up and represent your week perfectly. So I'm going to end up using some of those stamps or with that stamp to stamp a rabbit for one of my weeks. And I'm going to stamp Get Back Up right around his belly. Just thought he was really cute. I'm going to color it in with my Tombow markers. It's going to bring in a nice pop of color. I do also want to mention that I like to use stamps that work for my planner before I even have a schedule or before I even wrote down anything. So stamping the rabbit tired by the end of the week, it makes sense because I know I'm always tired by the end of the week. So that's why I end up using these types of stamps before the month starts. They're good fillers and I don't have to worry about filling those spots out when I'm adding my schedule, if that makes sense. My mind maps are not something I set up ahead of time just because my mind maps kind of represents my week once it's done. But because it's my birthday week, you can see here I grabbed some number stamps and stamped 46 because I know I will be kind of talking about myself that week and turning 46. So I just went ahead and stamped it out. I used a Heidi Swap stamp for that. And I have a bunch of word stamps that I'm just going to stamp randomly on my pages. Again, these are words that work either way if you stamp them while the week is going or ahead of time. So I just stamp like balance, Monday madness, things like that to fill out the space. So I just save myself some time, just don't have to worry about it. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp a few of those. I'll grab my Tombow markers and add some color and highlight some of these words. Again, it's a great way to add color to your spread by using your stamps and also coloring them in. was coloring in my words and my icons and my stamps and everything, I did notice that I didn't color in my numbers for my monthly calendar. I like to color them in with a gray marker so they can stand out a little bit more. So I just go over them with my gray marker. And then I remembered I didn't add my tabs for my new passion planner. And I got some really beautiful tabs from the passion planner. So I grabbed those and I'm going to start setting up my tabs for my passion planner. I find it to be very easy to set these tabs up because there is a black spot for each month. So adding the tabs is pretty easy. I love the passion planner tabs. The only thing is I wish they were matte. They're just so glossy, and I'm not a big fan of anything glossy, but it's okay. They're still beautiful. And the colors of these tabs match my planner cover perfectly. I will also add a tab for those back pages as well, just so I can find them faster. And then I believe I call my spreads done and my setup done. Everything is ready for me. I can start this in 2023. I'm so excited. I know a lot of people are setting up their planners and their journals and all that good stuff. So I hope my setup inspired you to set up your own planner and gave you some fun ideas for your planners as well. Anyways, you guys, don't forget, I do have a discount code and a link for Passion Planner, which saves you 10% off your next purchase. I will have them linked in the description box for you. And I hope you enjoyed watching my video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.